The BMW iX starts from roughly £73,000, but the model that we have comes with lots of fitted options and can be found for a whopping £87,000. Now in this video I'm going to give you my first drive impressions and thoughts about the BMW iX, so definitely do stay tuned if you want to see my full detailed review of the vehicle. Now to kick things off, we're going to talk about its exterior design, and here I think its frontal look is going to divide opinion. The large size kidney grills really take centre stage and is, well, in my opinion, a step too far. As for its side profile, it's got somewhat of a boxy look, but on the plus side, its rear is a bit more in line with the rest of BMW's SUVs. Now it's worth bearing in mind that our model is fitted with the 22-inch bi-coloured aero alloys and has the Phytonic blue finish. If you're drawn to these, you'll have to spend a little bit extra on your final bill. Elsewhere, the door handles are concealed within the frame of the vehicle, adding to the aerodynamic efficiency, and as for the interior of the vehicle, door release buttons are found, making it quite intuitive to exit the vehicle. Now as we move inside the cabin, it's similarly a little bit different from its competitors and equally from the BMW group, although one could liken the BMW iX to the BMW i3, whereby the center console unit is missing in comparison to being connected to the dashboard, for example. As for the steering wheel, it's got a hexagonal sort of design, which I do think is a little bit quirky and out there, and the same could be said about the kind of finishes that you can find. Take for example the center console. The iDrive system has got this kind of almost crystal-esque look, and the same could be said around the seats, whereas the seats controls are actually found towards the door rather than on the seats themselves, and again have this kind of crystal-esque finish. I'll be intrigued to hear your thoughts in terms of what you make of this sort of design down in the comment section below. Now moving on to technology, it supports Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, which is great to see, and that's through the 14.9-inch curved display which feeds into the 12.3-inch instrument cluster. Now the two work seamlessly well together. I'm really impressed with what BMW have achieved here, and the curved display also makes it all that bit easier to interact with and or to see all the vital information that you need while you're driving. Now moving swiftly on, I should also talk about storage capacity within the cabin. Here towards the front, due to that center console not being connected to the dashboard, it means that you almost have a little bit more space to either move around your legs and or, for example, place, let's say, a handbag or a rucksack, which can be quite convenient. Now on more traditional terms, you do have a little smartphone holder, a smartphone charger, and also two cup holders. Towards the center console, you do also have a very nice, sleek, stylish armrest compartment, which also is big enough for, let's say, small size purse, makeup bag, or for example a wallet. Those things can also be placed in the glove compartment, although it is worth bearing in mind it is pretty limited. And then you've got the compartment storages within the door bins, at least all four of them, and the front two are a little bit larger. Now if you do want to place, let's say, cups at the rear of the cabin, you do also have the pull down compartment which reveals two cup holders, and then you've got some convenient climate controls which are found towards the rear of the center console. Now of course, when it comes to storage, we have to talk about boot capacity, and here the iX offers 500 litres with the seats up. Of course this does extend quite substantially when you pop the seats down, and it's quite nice to see that BMW have incorporated a 40-20-40 split, which makes it useful for taking elongated goods. Similarly here there's a flat loading bay which makes it all that more convenient when you're taking goods in and out. Now in our model we have an electric tailgate that comes fitted and had no problems in terms of fitting underneath the tailgate itself as someone who's just under 6 foot, and elsewhere it's quite nice to see that there is underfloor compartment storage for your charging cables. Now in my opinion there's plenty of room to place your valuables within the cabin and of course in terms of the boot, and similarly when it comes to taking occupants, be it yourself or other people, I think you're going to have absolutely no problems whatsoever. As someone who's just under 6 foot sitting at the rear of the cabin, I've got so much legroom, and similarly when it comes to headroom, I would almost say BMW have mixed the trick in terms of not including, let's say, reclining seats, because you could really get away with it. Now in terms of the subject of comfort, the seats themselves are cushiony soft, that's no problem whatsoever. The rear middle seat is unsurprisingly a little bit stiffer, but given the fact that we don't have a transmission tunnel, it means that someone who's sitting in the rear middle seat can place their feet flat, which is a definite plus point in all electric vehicles, or at least ones which are built from the ground up. Now as for the front, I've got yet again no problems when it comes to headroom or legroom, and given the fact that we have the electric seats that are fitted, it means that, well, you can find find the perfect driving position. Now, before we do get onto driving, I do find it quite interesting that BMW incorporated two USB Type-C ports on both the rear segment of the front seats, and therefore makes it quite convenient if, let's say, you have children and then, like, let's say, holding a device and charging it. However, if you want to place your device somewhere, it might make it a little bit inconvenient unless you've got a quite long cable or charging cable, because normally you'd find these charging ports towards the rear portion of the center console, but that's not the case in the BMW iX, and it's just a small little point that I just thought to kind of highlight in this video. So what about when it comes to driving comfort? Well, first off, I should say that here the vehicle isn't as well insulated as the likes of the BMW iX3 or some of its competitors, such as, let's say, the Skoda Enyaq iV or the Audi Q4 e-tron, for example. Now here the vehicle does suffer from a little bit of road noise that creeps in from the tires, a little bit of wind that deflects off the A-pillars, and the cabin isn't that well insulated. As a result, you can hear your cars, well, other cars flying by from the exterior. Nevertheless, what will be of more importance potentially is its suspension setup, and here the iX is unsurprisingly, well, quite a BMW. It has a little bit of a stiffened suspension, and as a result means that, well, it does well when it comes to handling around corners. However, when it comes to going around potholes or country roads which are a little bit uneven, it means that the iX is certainly not as comfortable as some of its competitors. And so what about when it comes to its performance? Well, here the BMW is yet again a little bit outclassed by some of its competitors. The vehicle offers around 321 horsepower, which equates to around 240 kilowatts, and I had it tested from 0 to 60 miles an hour in 5.9 seconds. Now, don't get me wrong, I think that will suffice for a lot of individuals out there, but won't be as impressive as some of its rivals, say for example the Volvo XC40 Recharge Twin Pro, or the likes of the bigger battery pack or dual motor Audi Q4 e-tron, or the regular Audi e-tron, or let's say the Mercedes EQA in its highest spec configuration, which compete in the same sort of price category, if not are cheaper than the BMW iX. So what about when it comes to its range? Well, here the BMW iX3 has a 71 kilowatt hour battery pack, at least the model that we have. And here BMW claim that you'll get roughly 250 miles on the WLTP cycle. Now, I can't really attest to those claims because this has been a relatively short drive in the grand scheme of things, and from what I can see from the instrument cluster and from what other people have driven, which is pretty much 80% of its full electric range, I'm getting around 200 to 210 miles, which isn't bad in the grand scheme of things, but if you compare it to its competitors, it certainly isn't as impressive, which offer around 260 to 300 miles. And so what are my first impressions of the BMW iX? Well, quite frankly, it's got quite an interesting exterior and interior design, which will take quite a bit of getting used to, at least for most individuals, at least in my opinion. Now, as for its driving dynamics, they're interesting, and as for its range and performance, well, here I feel it's a little bit lackluster. Even during my short drive with it, I do feel that here BMW could have potentially tweaked it and or improved on it, specifically for what else you can find out there on the market, given the asking price. Now, nevertheless, I'll be intrigued to hear your thoughts in a comment section below. And of course, if you like this video, want to see more, do drop a like, subscribe and hit that bell notification, all of which would be greatly appreciated. As such, I've been Chris from TotallyEV. Take care of yourselves. Goodbye.